Every time you open a dashboard or post an update, the numbers stare back at you. Creators and businesses spend hours obsessing over vanity metrics, constantly chasing higher view counts, accumulating likes, and trying to push their follower counts up by any means necessary. This behavior is driven by the default business model taught to almost every entrepreneur and marketer operating today, the traditional sales funnel. You pour traffic into the top, watching people drop off at each stage until a tiny fraction of customers remain. But this system requires an expensive hustle, constantly feeding the top layer just to maintain numbers. A business built solely on optimizing cold traffic is a treadmill. It stops moving the second you stop running. There is a completely different mathematical approach to surviving on the internet. You do not need viral fame or millions of followers to thrive. As Wired magazine editor Kevin Kelly calculated, if you have exactly 1,000 dedicated people willing to spend $100 a year on your work, that equals a healthy $100,000 business. These dedicated people act differently than normal consumers. They'll buy the deluxe edition even if they already own the standard version. They'll drive 200 miles to watch you speak, and they will aggressively champion your brand to anyone who will listen. To cultivate that kind of intense loyalty, you have to throw out the leaky sales funnel entirely. You need a completely different geometry. And this chart shows the pyramid of fandom. Instead of filtering people down and out, this model focuses on moving them upward through 4 distinct layers: casual, active, connected, and finally, superfans. Looking closely at the diagram, the specific arrow on the left illustrates how superfans emerge through a deliberate, step-by-step journey upward, rather than a single optimized transaction. Every single person begins at that wide, apathetic base layer at the bottom. The first required step is making a casual scroller pause and actually pay attention. Take the massive late 90s success of the Backstreet Boys. They commanded an intensely devoted teenage fan base that propelled them to international stardom. Their secret weapon was a catalog of lyrics engineered to mirror the exact emotional language and melodrama of teenage heartbreak. By articulating the thoughts their listeners were already having, the band made their audience feel seen. In a business context, this means actively listening to how your target audience describes their pain and then mirroring those exact words back to them in your marketing. If you can define a customer's problem with more clarity than they can themselves, they will automatically assume you hold the solution. Speaking an audience's specific language acts as the powerful psychological trigger that pulls a casual observer into your active layer. The next upward strategy is to break the ice. This requires deliberately shifting your relationship away from standard B2B or B2C communication. B2B stands for business to business, and B2C stands for business to consumer. Instead, you move toward a P2P or person-to-person dynamic. Consumers connect with personal quirks, shared hobbies, and actual human vulnerability rather than faceless logos. Author Pat Flynn regularly breaks the ice by injecting his intense obsession with the movie Back to the Future into his professional brand and presentations. Over time, his fans began actively associating his brand with the movie, resulting in a steady stream of physical memorabilia showing up at his office. This creates an online association of appreciation. Whenever his audience spots a DeLorean or a movie reference in the wild, they organically tag and engage with him. Sharing non-business, personal details destroys the corporate veil, transforming a brand into a relatable friend. To see the real-world ROI, or return on investment, which measures the profitability of an action, of this pyramid structure, we can look at the story of Jackie, Flynn's very first true superfan. Flynn provided an exceptional personalized experience that helped her pass a difficult architecture exam. That specific attention turned her from a satisfied customer into a highly vocal evangelist. Her singular advocacy created a chain reaction, organically bringing in 25 additional paying customers from her own firm. Compare that organic expansion back to the leaky funnel we started with. Cultivating dedicated advocates is far more stable than constantly paying for cold traffic at the top of a sieve. You don't need to change the entire world to build a successful, algorithm-proof business. You simply need to profoundly change someone's world.